The bank didn't call. They sent a notification. 15,000 withdrawn, joint account. Purpose field left blank. I stared at the screen while my wife stood across the kitchen island, slicing oranges for our son's breakfast. The knife moved steadily, calm, precise, just like her. Big withdrawal, I said, keeping my voice neutral. She didn't look up. It's for Daniel's educational trip. Educational? Our son had mentioned nothing. I watched the way her shoulders tightened for half a second before relaxing again. Micro-expressions never lie. People do. Where to? I asked. She finally met my eyes. Germany. Germany. The word lingered in the air like smoke. She had been studying German for months. Late-night lessons, video calls with her professor, a man she described as intellectually stimulating. I nodded once. Inside, something cold began arranging itself. That same evening, my phone rang. My daughter-in-law's name flashed across the screen. Her voice was sharp, mocking. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. A laugh in the background, my son's laugh. I leaned back in my leather chair and stared at the ceiling. Enjoy, I replied. I hung up before she could hear the silence swallowing me. 2 withdrawals in 1 week. 1 financial, 1 emotional, both precise, both intentional, and neither accidental. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is for people who need noise to process betrayal. I prefer data. That night while she slept, I opened her laptop. She had grown careless, or confident. Her email was still logged in. There he was. Klaus Reinhardt, German professor, Berlin. Fluent charm packaged in academic humility. Their messages were not subtle. When Daniel arrives, everything will be easier. You deserve freedom. He doesn't appreciate your brilliance. Me. I read quietly, my pulse steady. The $15,000 wasn't for Daniel's education. It was for Daniel's passport to deliver her to her fantasy. She had convinced our son to apply for a cultural exchange program in Munich. Klaus had arranged it. Housing included. Temporary separation, she had written. Once I'm there, it will all unfold. All unfold. I scrolled further. She had sent him photos of our home, of our cars, of my study. Assets. Not memories, assets. The betrayal wasn't only romantic, it was strategic. And then I found the message that clarified everything. Is the bounty still secure? Klaus wrote. She replied, completely. He trusts me. Bounty? I leaned back in the dark. Trust. It's fascinating how people weaponize the very thing that protects them. The next morning, I made coffee for her. I kissed her forehead. I transferred another $5,000 into the account. She smiled at me like I was predictable. She had no idea I had already called my private banker in Zurich. I moved the remaining funds into a separate trust. I froze shared access to 3 investment portfolios. And I activated a clause in our prenuptial agreement she had never read carefully. Infidelity voided her claim to international assets. Switzerland was under my name alone, the villa especially. She didn't know about the villa. Not yet. I hired an investigator in Berlin. Quiet man, efficient. Within 48 hours, I had more than emails. Klaus Reinhardt wasn't only a professor. He had a history. Targeting married women, encouraging relocation, persuading them to transfer funds into joint ventures, then disappearing. 3 previous cases. No charges, just financial ghosts. And then the final piece arrived. A message from Klaus to a colleague. Once she arrives with access to the husband's holdings, we execute. The bounty is worth it. Bounty? They weren't running toward love. They were hunting me. I felt something shift inside my chest. Not pain, clarity. I scheduled a family dinner. Thanksgiving. I would attend, but not to wash dishes. Dinner was loud, artificial, perfumed with pretense. My daughter-in-law avoided eye contact. My son seemed distracted. My wife glowed with anticipation. Germany was 2 weeks away. Mid-meal, I stood. I have something to share, I said calmly. Silence. I connected my phone to the television. First the bank statements, then the emails, then Klaus's message about the bounty. My wife's face drained of color in stages. No, she whispered. I continued scrolling. Her own words filled the screen. He trusts me. The room felt smaller. My son stared at his mother as if she were a stranger. My daughter-in-law looked at me differently now, less amused, more cautious. I turned to my wife. Is Daniel aware he's the courier? I asked softly. She began to cry. I did not raise my voice. Is he aware Germany isn't an education? It's an extraction? Klaus's criminal pattern flashed next. 3 women, 3 bankruptcies, 3 disappearances. I verified everything, I said. She reached for my hand. I stepped back, carefully. The next morning, her phone rang. Once, twice, 10 times. Klaus. I had already sent him a legal notice. Fraud investigation initiated. International cooperation requested. His funding channels were flagged. He had underestimated the bounty. He thought he was hunting a naive husband. He had found an investor with lawyers in 3 jurisdictions. My wife tried calling him back. Blocked. Desperation replaced romance quickly. That afternoon, I sent a single message to the family group chat. A photo. My villa in Switzerland. Glass walls overlooking snow-covered mountains. Private lake access. Marble floors. Caption. Retirement secured. 71 missed calls followed. My daughter-in-law first. Then my son. Then my wife. They hadn't known. I had kept it separate. Strategic diversification. You hid this from us? My son demanded when I finally answered. Yes, I said. For protection. My wife's voice trembled in the background. I made a mistake. No, I corrected gently. You made a plan. Silence again. I finalized the divorce papers that evening. Clause activated. Infidelity documented. International assets untouchable. The 15,000? Irrelevant. A small tuition fee for a masterclass in human nature. She moved out within a week. Klaus vanished from academia shortly after. Investigations have a way of creating distance. Daniel stayed. He no longer laughs when someone insults me. My daughter-in-law doesn't shout about dishes. Respect is a fragile currency. It fluctuates when weakness is perceived. I sit now in my Swiss villa, watching snow fall across land she once believed she owned. She didn't love Klaus. She loved escape. She didn't betray me for passion. She betrayed me for leverage, and she miscalculated. The cruelest revenge is not destruction. It is survival without them. I did not crush her. I simply removed myself from the equation. And without my trust, there was never a bounty at all.